Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zach and today we're doing another ECOMI VeVe video. I actually just realized I have everything in this video planned except for showing you the freaking price. Why am I so bad at making videos, y'all? Let me know in the comments below. Alright, we're gonna get to it now. Here we go. So the price is 6498 on a low of 6333 and a high of 6886. Now, not really important at all right now. I want to make a video, this video, going over some concerns I have for ECOMI. Now, what I'm about to talk about is not something that I generally hear people talking about, and that's why we're going to go over it. I'm just trying to find the exact time code which I have on my other browser, roughly around here. Okay, so before we go into this video, Women X VeVe, again, thank you to Wendy and everyone else on the team for doing these videos. It's really good to see. Before we get into it though, let me just quickly explain the premise of what this video is about, and then I want to get straight into the grit of it, because there's a lot to go over here. I made a video yesterday and I spoke about some of the stuff that we heard on this podcast, and how some stuff is quite exciting, but how some stuff is also concerning, lacking a little bit in information, and we're going to go over that now. Now, the main thing that I'm not worried about too much with OMI price is when MTL, MCP, OMI fiat, all of those things, exchanges, those are the things that a lot of you are concerned about. Personally, I'm not. Mainly because just because it's taking a while doesn't mean it's not happening. And we are being given pretty consistent updates, more than anything else, about what's going on with those different aspects of this company's business, right? MTL again, MCP, a few, app fixes, allowing people to get access to the app again. I personally can't even access to the app right now, not because I've been, well, I don't want to say restricted, because restrictions are a real thing, but I just simply can't even log in right now because I did a password reset and the email won't come. Either way, that's not what I'm worried about either. What I'm concerned about is the VeVeverse. And I'm not saying that I am gravely concerned and that this project is a fail or bad or anything like that. I just want a bit more information. I'm going to explain to you what I want to know now, and you can tell me what your thoughts are as well. We're going to use Women X VeVe's video for about 4 minutes-ish roughly, because I think Wendy specifically asks about the VeVeverse, and I think Sarah also does. So let's get into it.
Push some of the visual fidelity of the models forward. And that is something that we can see.
Here we go.
Great. I want to ask something about the VeVeverse. So the collectibles that are going to be used in the VeVeverse, they are already designed to interact in the VeVeverse, or that is going to happen later on?
I think the VeVeverse has the VeVeverse is a lot bigger than just the collectibles or what we've talked about with it. There's a whole lot going on there that still that we're still building. I don't think I can really give specifics on what collectibles are going to be like in that world yet. But I mean, I'm just excited because it's like I see like we're already doing like viz dev on what the environments can be in that world and trying to figure out what the VeVeverse looks like, and then what it's like to move around in that space, and like what the interactivity is like. So there's a lot of really cool stuff happening there. And yeah, the collectibles will definitely be featured prominently in that whole experience.
Trevor, I've got a random question for you based on the VeVeverse. I've noticed you like roller coasters.
Yes.
Can you imagine yourself developing a VR roller coaster in the VeVeverse? VeVe roller coaster.
I would love to do that. I mean, you guys saw me post about Velocicoaster a couple months ago. I still talk about that pretty much on a regular basis. It was true. I love roller coasters so much, and that is one of the best I've ever been on. It was like, a religious experience in a roller coaster. I just very much love it. So yeah, VeVe coaster sounds like fun. I would love to.
Right, so I don't mean to cut them off, but honestly, I just wanted to get that little snack bite of the video where we go over and sort of set up the video. Of course, a link will be in the description to Wendy's channel, specifically this video, so please do subscribe to her, because they're doing, like, everyone here is doing amazing stuff, and I love to see it. Having said that, I am concerned still about the VeVeverse, and I'm going to explain why. And I'm not saying that things are bad. Like I say, we just need to go over some stuff. Now, I've messaged Cavell Anderson. I know him as well, as y'all know, or some of you will know, because we go back. Now, I don't normally show off DMs or show off what I've sent to people. He hasn't replied to this yet, which is absolutely fine, obviously. But I want to go through what I sent to him so you can see the concerns. To be clear, if there was anything personal in the DM, I wouldn't be showing this, but nothing here is personal. Hey, homie. I want to get your thoughts on some VeVe stuff. A few things I've heard in recent talks via Spaces and Women X VeVe is kind of concerning me for gamification VeVe stuff. If you watched last video, you know what I'm talking about. And to be very clear, my concerns are nothing to do with Women X VeVe. Women X VeVe is great. My concerns are to do with what is and isn't being spoken about in the general community. I spoke about it in my most recent video reacting to Women X VeVe. VeVe is clearly first and foremost for collectors for now, but as you made a video talking about how that stuff's going to be gift shop, as David or Dan said that, that means the VeVeverse is going to need to be very well made for mass adoption. When we're talking about mass adoption, we're talking over 50, over 100 million users. At least that's what I'm talking about. All the info right now is about MTLs, OMI Fiat, etc. And I guess that's because pretty much all what crypto heads are interested, which I understand. I'm so unsure about what the actual plan is for VeVeverse for gamification. When Poor Man, i.e. Poor Man Printing, asked about making a card game, I was hoping for an easy yes, but they were very wordy about it and it wasn't as easy a yes, we're doing that stuff as I was hoping. What I'm talking about, there is Poor Man Printing in the Gockstein, I'm sorry if I'm getting the name wrong, media VeVe spaces that happened a few days ago, maybe even a week ago now, I can't remember now. That Poor Man Printing asked about it and Dan didn't really explain to the way I was expecting or hoping. VeVeverse and gamification is going to take a lot more resources than the dev team, both internal and external, they have right now. So what I'm talking about there is that I'll go over that in a minute. Making 3D models just isn't the same thing as building a metaverse experience. Obviously, it's a while until we even hit gamification, so that might be why they're hesitant to talk about it. But even so, I feel like we should know more than we do about the practicalities of it. I've DM'd Trevor about this, asking what he can talk about with it, but he's not replied. I know he's busy, but I'm still left unsure. To be very clear, nothing upset with Trevor. I know he's busy, and he probably receives a million DMs anyway. I'm going to make a video about it right here, but wanted your thoughts. Do you have the same concerns? Now, to be very clear, this right here, the dev team, both internal and external, that's because VeVe or ECOMI have explicitly said that they have also outsourced some of the work that they need to third-party AAA studios, which essentially means outsourcing to really experienced studios, right, to make the 3D art, which we see as collectibles. The thing is that when we looked at, I think it was Future Tech's Live's version of the VeVeverse, which I know is not meant to be like the representation totally, but it's also the closest thing that we've had to representation for VeVeverse as far as I'm concerned, specifically from ECOMI, of course. I want to go over that. And we're going to start off by going over that. And I said this, that I was going to be doing this in videos prior, and we're doing it now. We're going to have a look at the VeVeverse. Obviously, this is not the VeVeverse. This is Grand Theft Auto, but it's a really, really helpful explanation for what I'm talking about. The same kind of thing would apply with Fortnite, which is what we've looked at on the channel before. And we've also, let me make sure this is fine. Yeah, all good. And we've also had, spoken about Roblox. Unfortunately, you keep on hearing those phone notifications. There is no way to turn those off. That being said, what the team have said before is that they want showrooms to become more, at least it seems like, of a third place. A third place is a place essentially, and you can look it up yourself if you're really interested, but essentially it's a social hangout. It's not exactly that, but for what we're talking about here is a social hangout. And so what we're talking about here is being able to literally have your own place, your own home. We already know that you're going to be able to rent out or buy land and then rent that out or whatever you want to do with it. And so I think that this is a fairly good tech demonstration, at the very least, of what we can expect, where we have our character here. It might be that you're playing as a certain character. I don't even know if we're going to be able to play as Spider-Man, Batman Who Laughs, etc., etc. You know, I think with Future Tech Live, we had an avatar that looked kind of blocky, which is fine. It was very, sort of, it was very basic of a concept. But this, of course, is not the same thing. This is a person, right? This is the person that I've created in Grand Theft Auto. And this is my home. Now, straight away, you can see where the parallel would be, right? Where posters would come into the mix, right? We also have collectibles, or not collectibles per se, maybe, but kind of collectibles and basically ornaments on the shelves. These are all places that I think we would see these collectibles being. On the same token, it could even be that we have DC, Marvel, any IP-inspired furniture even. It might be that we're able to watch TV, films on TV, have friends over for a new release that, DC or Marvel have put out, that they've worked with VeVe to do that. All this stuff could be in the future. Then we go into the garage. Go through the elevator. And then you can go and see my really, this is not my only account. Let me just put it that way. Yeah, it's a very basic card collection, considering what GTA can do. But we see here, of course, there's a TV over there. We have the mechanic stuff going on there. And then if I leave the garage, of course, I'm put into Los Santos, which is essentially a parody of Los Angeles made by Rockstar Games. Now, that is really important. This video is not going to be me necessarily exploring the whole of Los Santos, although we're going to do a little bit of that for another video potentially, or in this video. This is already 10 minutes though. Here's the deal. The collectibles that we're seeing right now, the most that we've seen from a dynamic point of view, I guess, is animations. So we've seen Spider-Man with his animations. Obviously, we saw Ripmo at the start. We've seen a few animations. Of course, we've seen Loki. So that's really awesome. And to be very clear, what I'm saying here I'm not saying that VeVe isn't doing something good. I'm not saying that they've done anything bad, but I want to go over my own concerns again. What we have seen is animations, and we've seen an amazing, honestly, especially with Trevor being the ECOMI content lead, obviously, with his attention to detail for lighting and for the parts of animation, it's really awesome to see what the team is coming up with. But the augmented reality, the animations, etc., isn't the VeVeverse, and we haven't really had a very good demonstration of what the VeVeverse will look like, apart from Future Tech Live. The reality is, though, is that the collectibles that we're seeing right now, they're being made by what I would imagine to be people who have, in general, game design experience. Trevor himself worked at Sony Santa Monica, which God of War and other prestigious IPs, incredibly prestigious, multi-million IPs. And then I know that they've also contracted people from different studios like, I think, EA, Respawn, which makes Apex Legends, Ubisoft, etc. So there's a lot of things going on there, and that's awesome. But what I'm hoping for, and what I've been talking about for the longest, is a VeVeverse like this, where it's genuinely a world that you can explore and you can sort of socialize with people, and that you can, look at each other's collectibles and, all that good stuff, right? That is the stuff that the VeVeverse, as far as I'm concerned, is exciting. The VeVeverse that I'm excited about is being able to go out with my car, whether it's an IP-related car or not, and being able to go across the street and maybe even buy, for example, Binko clothing. Or in this case, and actually maybe I should be careful. No, I think we'll be fine. Over here is the gun store, right, in Grand Theft Auto. Now, what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to buy this land, or in some way, shape, or form. That is what we're talking about when it comes to renting land. The biggest thing, or the biggest hurdle that I feel like we face right now, is that this world, which is a very, very large world. I'm just going to drive actually to make it very clear how large this world really is. Whoops. This world is incredibly large. What we're talking about with the VeVeverse, if we wanted to be anywhere near this level, which we do, I think at least, if we're talking about getting so many users on and, gamification and stuff, and like what I'm showing you here isn't even 1% of the entire map. What I'm concerned about is that we haven't seen a shred of information talking about how this is actually going to look, because what GTA required was probably like 5 to 6 years worth of work from scratch maybe, or 6, 7, 8 years. I don't honestly know, but well, not a long time relatively speaking, but also a fairly long time, right? Whoops. Oh, yeah. You can see how large this world is, and I haven't even shown you past literally one street, basically. And then you have highways, etc., right? There's a casino like in the far distance. I've shown all that off before, and I want to be able to, you know, buy those apartments and then rent it out to people, and those people can then have their collectibles and can hang out in their apartments, you know? So we have all these different things going on here. But what VeVe is going to have to do if we're going to actually, you know, if VeVe is serious about, sorry, I'm just trying to get this right. If VeVe is serious, which I assume they are, at least they talk about how they are in a way. If VeVe is serious about getting all of this going, this is a very large project, to the point at which they're either going to have to hire a AAA studio like Rockstar Games or something like that, but I don't see that happening because Rockstar Games makes enough money and is actually making more money now than they were in the past 5 years because they have built basically a metaverse experience. Now, I don't know how VeVe competes with that, because VeVe, and they are literally going to have to build a multi-hundred, if not 1,000 person studio. Now, I'm not saying that's not possible, but what I am saying is that I want to see and hear more about what the team has actually planned for that. Sorry, I got a call in GTA.
I don't know you.
Apologies. That's just some gaming stuff. That's what I'm concerned about, is that I don't know if VeVe has the resources, and if they do, they're not talking, and if they don't, but they plan on it, which is also fine to run to build a business with, I want to hear more about it. In a way, I think what would be important is that we start asking more about these nuances, because these nuances are actually very big on the scale of where is OMI going. Collecting is a huge part of VeVe for now. But it's not going to be the only thing that VeVe attracts. It can't be. There aren't enough editions of all these collectibles, considering, sorry if you can hear Foley audio in the background, it's not the same thing. And that's what I'm worried about. MCP, MTL, etc., we hear about it every time. Mainly because that seems to be what people care most about. All of these problems, in my opinion, are short term. If it doesn't happen this month, it'll happen next month. At the very least, it's going to happen by the end of this year. And if it doesn't, then that is something to be concerned about. But I'm just thinking about what we're going to see long term from a macro perspective. Because like I say, what we are seeing right now with the VeVeverse, and this is why I was so excited when we saw the showroom 2.0, I think, on the website. Because we see obviously this house in the clouds, right? Now, I was saying back then, I wonder where this house is located, because oftentimes in games, you'll have a house or a part of the game located in a certain part of the world, because that brings about what's called lore and storyline to a certain extent. I'm not saying that VeVe's going to have a lore or storyline to that level, but realistically, I am hoping that we're going to see that sort of house in this sort of environment, where we actually have a thriving community. I want to see each of these cars being driven by people. Rockstar couldn't even get that done. Rockstar couldn't even get that done with GTA 5. Maybe GTA 6 will see it. I don't know when that's coming out though. But Rockstar has literally, not only can they not get everyone like that into one server for driving around cars, but they can't even get more than, like, this is not a stacked car, a stacked road. This is meant to be a highway down there. Like, this is meant to be a highway. It's dead. And the reason it's dead is because it's very difficult, and Trevor did mention this in the Women X VeVe video, not specifically about this, but I understand enough about game dev, I think, to know that this is correct. The reason why there aren't cars crashing into me right now, and why there isn't traffic, very clearly, really, is because of the memory that the computer has, or whatever device it has. My computer's really good, and yet I still can't have, I mean, you can mod it, you can mod these games to get more, but either way, the point being is that Trevor is, I think, well, not Trevor, but I think it's difficult for them to get so many items in one showroom because of memory issues. That's basically what Trevor was talking about. I think if I'm wrong, he can correct me. I hope I'm not wrong. again, like, I hope I'm making my point clear. I don't know if I am or not, but either way, I'm gonna X out of this because the noise is actually starting to annoy me, and I'm just trying to make a point. There we go. Okay. With all of that said, I hope I've made some of my concerns clear. Now, this isn't to say that OMI's in a bad place, ECOMI's in a bad place, or anything like that. I just want to learn more about the VeVeverse. The main thing that's attracted me to this project is the utility, the supply to demand, which I know gaming offers. That's what I'm thinking about. Nothing else. I'm not hyped about any altcoins otherwise. I don't care. I'm not interested in trying to 30x an investment because of hype. Like, that's fine for people who want to do that. I literally don't care. That's fine. But personally, this is why I got involved with VeVe over other NFT projects, was because I could see a tangible use case where if you can go to a restaurant in the VeVeverse, if you can go to a club in the VeVeverse, if you can go and play games in the VeVeverse, and I'm talking about even card games at the very least. Like, we need to learn more about this, because if that's what the primary OMI burning is going to be, because let's be real, again, there's only so many people who can buy collectibles. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. I don't mean to be doomsday, but I also want to start putting out more meaningful content about what I really think is happening here. And again, nothing against ECOMI. I'm looking forward to learning more about the questions and concerns that I have, because the reality is that most people just haven't asked these questions. At the very least, not in Twitter Spaces. And so if no one asks a question, I guess they don't really have incentive to talk about it too much. So yeah. Like I say, I've messaged Trevor about it. He hasn't responded. I'm not upset with him at all for that. Not that I have any right to be either way. If Trevor, you're watching this, a lot of respect to you and the team. You're doing a great job. I'm just curious about what we're seeing here, because I am excited about potential, but I don't know what's actually happening. Hopefully this video was interesting to you. If it was, a like is always much appreciated. Let's do my outro. If this video was interesting or helpful to you in any way, shape or form, a like is always much appreciated. And if you would like to be kept happening in this topic every single day, most time today, this is my channel, and I cover everything going on every single day. So if you want to be everything happening, hit that subscribe button and keep notifications on. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you in the next VeVe video.